In this figure, we will discuss about what are the various multiple heart failure scenarios. So, there are different kind of heart failures. Some are focused on the left side of heart failure. Some are focused on the right side of heart failure. So, what is the main cause of heart failures? Is the activation of RAAS. That is the renin uh, will activate angiotensin 1. Renin will produce angiotensin, some compound that is, and that will activate angiotensin 1, and this angiotensin 1 will activate angiotensin 2, and this will leads to the increase in pressure on left side of the heart, and that might be one of the symptom for a heart failure. And another symptom of heart failures is increasing immune response. With increasing immune response, such as pro-inflammatory cytokines, as more cytokines are there in the system, that might lead to increased immune response that needs more energy. And in terms sympathetic flow, it will augment the sympathetic flow, and that will cause additional pressure on the heart, and sometimes it might lead to heart failure. The third point is the increased narrow pinephrine. So what happens in this case is that this no norepinephrine is uh, the chemical that is used to increase pressure of the blood, and if we take increased amount of or more amount of this no norepinephrine, then it might lead to increase additional pressure on the heart, and if that additional pressure crosses the threshold of the heart heart with withstand capacity, that it might cause a heart failure. So what happens because of activation of all this is that the muscle remodeling take place. Sometimes muscle expands and sometimes muscle contract based on the scenario, and because of this what happens is that there is a change in a catabolic state or skeletal respiratory. There is change in the flow of skeletal respiratory rate of flow of skeletal respiratory, and that might lead to cardiac problems. And what are the different kind of symptoms that we observe is that first one is the dips uh, dyspnea. So what happens is dyspnea is actually happens because of shortness of breath, and this is mainly occurs in patients that have high or advanced stage that are in advanced stage of heart failure. And this thing shortness of breath can also occur because of pulmonary congestion, and this can be acute. This can increase, this can be pulmonary congestion can be of low degree or of higher degree. And another thing that might cause heart failure is the anxiety depression. So what this anxiety depression may also be activated by one of this reason, and at the same time because of muscle, this anxiety depression can also be activated by muscle contraction or change in the respiratory flow, and that might also uh, cause heart failure, as it this will also increase additional pressure on the heart to do its regular function. Another thing is the fatigue is the condition in which whenever people feel weak or tired and not able to do normal things, such as walking, uh, moving here and there for their normal function, and in this case the heart does not have enough energy to take care of this normal function. So this will in this case, because of the lack of energy, it might cause a heart failure, lack of energy available within the patient. Another next symptom is the anorexia cachexia. So what happens in this case is that anorexia, mm, this is basically depends on. We will discuss this later on. Let us first cover other parts. That is agro-reflex activation. And this agro-reflex activation is basically occurs due to contraction of the muscle, and this will increase ventilatory response to exercise. So because of the contraction now, the heart has to do more function. Heart has to do more work in order to uh, do the normal function. and and if this contraction is uh, crossed beyond the threshold capacity of the heart, then it might lead to heart failure. And the last thing that may cause heart failure is that sleeping disordered breathing. So what happens in this case is that when a person does not have enough sleep for a longer duration, for longer a longer time, and that might cause the buildup of additional pressure on the heart to do function. As we know that during the rest state, our heart does not have to do that much function as when we are working or moving. And about this anorexia cache state, it is the condition in which uh, it is the condition in which our body is it is the condition in which our body is not been able to uh, actually I'm not able to recall what does this symptoms actually means. You can get the information about this anorexia cache from the reference that has been provided in the description. So that's all for this video. Thank you for your time.